What's up, party people? You are watching Honest Trailer Commentaries for the Black Panther. Check out our actual Honest Trailer, then come back here and see what we had to say about it and what we left out of what you saw.
Yes.
That about sums it up, right?
Yep, that's the show.
There you go. So here we are. The white wolf to my right is Joe Starr. The white wolf to my left is Dan Murrell. And I'm Spencer J. Gilbert.
The white wolf.
The white wolf. Another white wolf. Here we are talking about one of my favorite superhero movies of the past however many years.
Yeah.
It's a good film.
It is.
It's a good film, guys.
Which means they're always hard to do. Hard to do the good ones.
Not
Best
easy.
The Phantom.
Not easy to do. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that I'm a big fan, more so than Black Panther, of Mr. Ryan Coogler. Because after Creed and then this one and then Fruitvale before this, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That guy can make a movie, and he's younger than all of us, and what have we done with our lives?
I know, right?
Oh, we're gonna
feel inadequate.
We're gonna poke at the
Third act.
That,
Action sequence.
gotcha.
Which,
Yeah.
like, his previs team took care of. Like, I'll bet
Yeah.
he saw that as a storyboard.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Ryan Coogler's super talented. This movie felt like it belonged in the Marvel Universe, but also had its own setting and its own look going on, and what else is there to say? It's cool.
One of the first superhero movies where we got to the third act, and I was like, I really wish these two would stop fighting and start talking more. Like, I was legitimately just like, I don't want to see them fight. I want to see Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan sitting across the table from each other doing this as a verbal duel. Like, they were just so great in their parts, and I love the conflict between them so much that, like, I didn't care about flipping around on the train tracks with the vibranium train and the magnets. I was just like, just let these guys really go at each other.
I think that's a testament to characters you care about. Like, before the show just went off the rails, every episode of Dexter, I was like, I hope he stops killing people and everyone gets on the same page. I was just like, I just cared about everybody on either end. It was just like, figure it out, please. I like all of you. And I was the same. Once everyone started swinging in the third act, I think you would rather just have them all sit down and hash it out.
Right, I do think that, speaking of the third act, which is, we got a nitpick, so let's start there.
Sure.
That's where people really turned on Black Panther, like, boom.
Yeah.
Like, is it Daniel Kaluuya? Yeah, him, right? Like, he was like the River Tribe, and he's like, you didn't bring back Claw? Well, I'm going to murder my countrymen now. Like, you've had a weekend to do your job.
Yeah.
This guy's stronger.
Whoa, King.
Like, I don't know. The big, like, CGI, I know there were actors too, but, like, mostly CGI armies clashing in the field.
I give it a pass for the concept of armored rhino charging into battle in a Marvel movie. The idea of that was made me happy enough that the execution was. I was kind of like, you know what? It's fine. It was an armored rhino. I think especially because of the first two acts leading up to that, how much just in terms of. Sorry, all my migraine medicine just kicked in, and I lost I lost words. Just how much social context is put in, and the argument about isolationism versus globalization and everything is so good for a Marvel movie that you're almost taken aback. That I think that when it goes into third act Marvel movie mode, you're kind of like, oh, and it's almost even a little more jarring.
Yeah, that's why that turn works. I think is because Michael B. Jordan. Both his performance and the way his character is written, you are so, even though, like, objectively he's like, I want to go kill a bunch of people, the way that they get him there and the way that he presents his case, you're like, I mean, I see, I get, I
it
see
was
why
a little bit
there.
like send countries guns ? Profit.
Like, well,
all right, you have some spies and you're gonna send them guns, but like
his heart's in the right place for what he wants to do. The best laid plans don't always get there.
Yeah, I think the real villain that really snuck under the radar is our other Hobbit friend, is the CIA guy who's like, yeah, we trained him. He's one of ours. We taught him how to do all of this. We do this all the time. But I'll help you with the drone. I'll help you fly the drone.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
Oops.
Which is honestly kind of a cool touch, because I mean that's very United States, where they're like, hey, this was our bad, and even though everyone's like, oh wait, it was,
We'll fight our way out of it.
They don't really acknowledge it. They're
Yeah.
like, yeah, but you're still with us. Go get in the arcade plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, well done, Coogler, and everyone involved. But let's see how honest we could really get.
Zing, 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 zing. Take that, Coogler.
Made our job very difficult.
Creed makes me cry every time I watch it. Ha! Take that.
After 17 movies, the MCU finally went black, putting out a black crude, black cast superhero movie that's one of the best ever released, leaving its haters with only one option: watching every other MCU movie ever made.
Plenty of white
Black
people to look at.
Panther.
Yeah.
That's what they're into.
Pause. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing. It's like you have to acknowledge the monumental significance of the fact that it had unprecedented success for a movie directed by an African American, starring African. I mean, you know, again, when we're looking at how do you get into this, like that's something that you can't really. There's no joke to be had there, so you just have to acknowledge it. And it's like, what's the joke to be made about? If you can't make a joke about the situation, which is not really a joke there, it's like turn it around and like what's the humor on the other side of it, which is the fact that like people, if you really want to complain about this movie, like there are literally
all of the other
ones.
Well, yeah, it's the same as like, why is there no White Panther? Why is there no White History Month? Because that's just everything else. That's the MCU. Like, whatever. Let's keep going.
Again.
Still in the top 10, isn't it?
Just
Dan?
when you thought Chadwick
Black
Boseman
Panther?
had called dibs
Oh, yeah,
on every
everything.
black icon, he's suiting up as Black Panther, a superhero with the high-tech suit of Iron Man, the all-natural steroids of Captain America, and the invisible jet of Wonder Woman. But one thing sets
can't
him
even see
apart
him,
from
though,
all
so
the other MCU heroes. Not because he's black, not because he's royalty. Nope, it's because this Marvel hero just won't quip.
Hey, people are shooting at me. Wait,
She
let me
roasts him
put
a
on
lot.
my helmet.
She does.
Enough.
Croce.
We will not help you.
Did he freeze?
That's where you win them over with humor.
Interlock in headlights.
Are you finished?
Wow, his dad just died.
That's
and
where
he
Tony
didn't
Stark's
crack
like,
a
oh,
joke.
okay,
I
Donkey
thought
Kong,
you
like,
had
why
to
don't
be
you
smart
give me
as a superhero.
Dance off, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Like Peter Quill literally
Pause.
fought a holder of an Infinity Stone with a dance off, and
and his as his father was dying, they were like making Baywatch jokes.
exactly. Like there's but again,
It's
like,
almost jarring.
It is, but it works. I mean, to those that think like, oh, so now you're complaining about there not being quips. You just complained about this. Like everything that we do in an honest trailer isn't a complaint.
No, it's an observation.
And that's actually one of the things that makes him a good character. Is you do have 17 other people, and then like he and mostly Doctor Strange, but even Doctor Strange gets a quip in every once in a while. Yeah, he gets some snarking.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone less apt to make a joke in the MCU.
Even bad guys.
Well, Cap makes jokes because he's lame, but
he's kind of the butt of jokes.
He's the butt of jokes, or he's awkward. But T'Challa is just very
the stoic badass.
Pretty much, even Drax with no sense of humor makes way more jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like who doesn't understand idioms or whatever. All right. So
Groot.
You need that balance, though.
Even Groot's joking around.
Yeah, that's true.
If you read the script.
Yeah.
Read the script. Yeah.
That's part of what made Shuri such a great character in this movie, though, is that she's the funny one and he's the. It's getting how comedy works and realizing that you don't always have to do the same formula. You can make other people funny, and what makes it funnier is that the other person doesn't think it's funny, and it's not just a nonstop quipathon.
Yeah. Quip off. We have enough of that.
Peter Quip.
All right, let's go.
What's up, bro?
Yes.
Journey to Wakanda, a combination of the Jetsons and a 1990s Jet magazine. It's the source of all the world's vibranium, a material so powerful it tops Tony Stark's tech and Doctor Strange's magic as the BS that can do whatever the script needs it to do.
True.
Vibranium can do anything.
Literally
There's
anything.
vibranium all around us.
How does a metal?
That's how I healed you.
The
Pause.
secret
How does a metal do everything? I get that it's a metal. I
it
guess
does
it has
everything,
properties that allow
but
it
it
to do
also
everything.
powers things. It's also
It's a
undetectable.
hologram?
They threw out that it's undetectable by metal detectors somehow in
Really?
the movie. He's like, yeah, because like the weapons
are
undetectable by metal detectors.
It can do anything,
But
and
it's the
everything.
strongest metal.
I do wish they had changed this one up a little bit and like maybe an alien ship crashed there that had.
Well, it's a meteor.
Yeah, I know, but like I wish they had explained away some of this with like it was more alien stuff crashed that maybe had some meteors on it or
instructions.
something. Yeah, I don't
Captain
know, man.
Marvel.
A
no,
vibranium
yeah.
pick to chip away at the meteor, because otherwise, how would the initial
True.
people get any of the vibranium off the meteor?
I take it back.
See, Joe, this is what happens when you ask for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You get into discussions about vibranium picks.
Maybe they
And,
borrow Cap's shield to just.
Yeah, to just ding at it.
Of course, that then raises a question of like, of all the things, you get the rarest material on Earth, and they're like, shield? You'll make a disc out of it? Okay.
Really?
Yeah, we'll go with the disc.
Yeah, they were stupid Americans in the 1940s. It's not shocking that they were like, what do you do with this metal? Stretch it.
Wait, with the themes of like colonialism in this movie and people stealing vibranium, that means that Cap's shield
Should be
stolen from
returned.
Wakanda and should be returned.
It doesn't belong
Yes.
in a museum. It
Yeah.
belongs in Wakanda.
Get this man a very different shield, not the one he took from us. That one stays.
Does Iron Man still have that shield?
Oh yeah, because
Cap
he has
throw
the
it
weird
down? Yeah,
like
he left
Wolverine nubs or whatever in Infinity
the
War.
little gauntlet.
Yeah.
Type things.
Yeah, did not like those.
Huh?
Not a shield.
Huh? Yeah. What happened to the shield?
He dropped it at the end of Civil War. He's like,
Yeah, but no one picked it up.
I don't remember anyone picking it up. Maybe it's still
not.
sitting in that
Yeah.
abandoned Winter Soldier factory.
I'm sure we'll find out
Yeah,
in
I'm
Avengers
sure
4.
Or it's
Somebody
just
else
it's in Tony's scrapbook along with the breakup note that Steve wrote him.
Yeah, and it was especially annoying because they're like, "Get this man a shield," and there he is with like
You could shield
swim fins on his. On
It's
his
a
arms.
great trailer line, Spencer.
great trailer.
It is a great trailer line.
Someone get this man a shield. Yeah, you do it. No,
They
you
just
do
didn't
it.
find it.
Yeah.
They just cut the scene where the guy's like, "Hey, Steve, I know T'Challa told me to get you. Yeah, this is what I found."
Yeah.
Yeah. I have these.
Yeah, aliens are landing. I don't have a lot of time to get through inventory.
Yeah.
I should have
Are
got
they
him a
gonna go
rhino.
to the armory? Come on.
Yeah. Oh shit. That's the only. Yeah. Infinity War. Steve Rogers is running around on one of those rhinos.
Two
Oh,
rhinos.
Yep.
Rhino skates. All right, let's keep going.
Kingdom has been hidden for centuries thanks to an ironclad policy of asking people not to say anything.
You speak nothing of this day. Yes.
But after sitting out the slave trade, brutal dictators, 2 world wars, multiple alien invasions, and a sentient AI using stolen vibranium to destroy the Earth,
That seems like
they're
a real
finally ready to
Might
get
be.
involved
Yeah.
in Bay Area real estate.
I bought this building. And that's a
Great
building.
investment.
And that one over there.
Kitten steps, you guys. After taking
So yeah,
18
pause. I mean, we might get taken a test to this, but I think that the movie itself is making the case the whole time that Wakanda needs to come out of its shell, literally.
Yes.
And the entire world, Wakanda included, has been threatened in the MCU multiple times, and they seem to have one up on everybody else in that regard.
Just
And
kind of chilling in their valley with their alien tech.
yeah, they've got spies everywhere. They knew about Ultron. They knew about all this stuff.
And we saw there is the end credit where he talks to the UN, and the UN's like, "What do you have to offer us?" And he winks at the camera.
Yeah.
But it's a funny observation that after the whole arc of the movie, he's like, "I bought this building."
Right. Yeah. For those of us that be
Gonna be
like,
cool.
well, obviously we didn't get the point that he was using the buildings.
We know.
Yes, we know. It's humor.
Humor.
It's exaggerating the fact that we are reducing his very well stated intentions and goals to buying real estate in the Bay Area because that is a humorous way of looking at the situation.
I was just thinking back to.
It's hard sometimes,
It kind
Joe.
of. Sorry, my mind was going somewhere else. An unrelated point of all the people in Wakanda that aren't like in the city. Are they all like crisis actors? Like, are they just pretending to be farmers all day?
No, I
Like,
think
to just
no,
make-
they have farmers.
they
and
have
stuff.
farmers
Okay.
and stuff. Yeah, I think they just like. I mean, they can go in and out freely. I think it's like the farmers that drive into town that we have here in the United States. They still have that, right? Farmers that drive into town.
Yes. Just the town.
That's
is,
what the farmers of Wakanda
the town is
are.
just really, really cool.
Yeah.
Instead of yeah.
town.
Okay, so they're not just like, all right, it's your turn to go on, pretend you're dirt poor, and like go hit the road with a stick to make sure like the UN doesn't catch on.
Yeah, I bet they got like, no, I'm sure it's just like everyone needs farmers, and you got to grow stuff, and they're they're still on their own. I don't think they can eat the vibranium, so they have to grow.
Well,
I don't know.
I think it's seeped. Actually, that's the thing. Is it's seeped into the soil, the flour. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of implied is that they're eating it. The vibranium has leached into the soil, and the magic herb is
right. But not everyone gets to eat the magic herb. That's a special diet.
Yeah,
that's reserved.
Oh yeah.
Although this does now hit the wall where after Infinity War, where Tony Stark's just like, it's nanotech, and his suit just magically appears. It's like, what does Wakanda have to offer? Because all their stuff now just looks.
Well, that was the point that they were making in this movie, was that that the world was catching up, and so Killmonger and his crew were saying, we have to make our move now, because soon we're not going to have the technological advantage.
Yeah, and Tony Stark is such a broken man, or so cool inside, that he's just like, I guess magic exists in the last movie, and was like pretty on board pretty quick for something that undercuts a man of science. Like Doctor Strange's it took him a whole movie to get over that. And Tony Stark's like, we're with the wizards. Like, we're trying to get the necklace with the wizards. Let's go. But
he's seen some stuff.
Yeah, he's seen some stuff.
Yeah.
He also flew a nuclear bomb into a portal into outer space and fell back through the portal.
Still science.
Yeah. I think he's. I was with him on that leap. I think he just at this point he's like,
at this point it doesn't matter.
He's just going with it.
Just wave your hands and see what looks cool.
Yeah.
All right, keep
Guys, after taking 18 movies to get 6 quality villains,
I'm sure there will be debate
Marvel
on
takes
that.
just 3 movies to cut it back to 2, maybe 1. But for one shining moment, we had Claw, Andy Serkis's joyous portrayal of a guy who doesn't have to wear a mocap suit.
That was awesome! That was awesome!
He was so fun.
And Killmonger, Michael
great,
B. Jordan's
B-villain
Michael
to
Jordan of
pop up in
Marvel
all these
villains.
movies, but-
Hey, Auntie.
Oh, well.
He's the buffest dude to ever graduate from MIT, who's ribbed for your pleasure, and who actually wins the moral argument and changes the hero's mind.
Where was Wakanda? All of you are wrong! To turn your backs on the rest of the world!
So wait, Killmonger was right? I am not used to this much nuance in my Marvel villains. Quick, make him choke an old lady so I know who to root for.
Yeah, I feel like they had
there he
to
is.
take his like correct ideology but then just make him like just so over the top violent and imperialist that like
Oh yeah. It's like in a rom-com where she ends up with the new guy and he seems fine, and then in the third act when they're like, oh, she's supposed to be in love with the main character, they make that guy psychotic or do something crazy, so that you're like, oh, that man had it together, but now he's awful. Yeah.
And that's my favorite part of the movie, though, was the fact that you had a quote-unquote villain who had a truly a grievance that was 100% in the right. His father was murdered, and he was left to fend for himself. And there was a country that sat by and allowed any number of injustices to happen over decades, centuries, perhaps, and that, only hindered by the fact that he went too far ideologically, in the sense of like, if Wakanda's going to get involved, they also can't allow him to do what he wants to do. But the fact that like he was 90%, 100% right, which I love. Like I'm so tired of, particularly I think Marvel has a villain issues of like, not so much in the last few, but as they were finding their way of just like, I'm gonna beat you up. You did something to me. Here I come.
I love power.
Yeah. I love that complexity of just like a villain. It's not really, I would even call him a villain. He's an antagonist, I guess, but only in the sense that he is directly antagonizing
the protagonist.
I love the complexity that they gave him, and the
and I think that wouldn't have taken away from it, and would have added even more complexity if he hadn't choked the priestess and shot his girlfriend for no real reason.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Again, at the same time,
you got to add that comic. It is a comic book movie. You got to have that comic bookness.
Yeah.
But also, what you said is exactly right. The Claw could have been such a cool runner villain, like Turk is for Defenders. Turk's my favorite character in Defenders. Every time he pops up, I get very excited. And Andy Serkis was so fun in this movie. Yeah, he's a great, like, D-lister.
Yeah,
not
he'll
quite
never
a
be the
henchman.
main villain in the movie, but to be
always
like,
a bridesmaid.
Yeah,
and that's the perfect spot. And
shot off screen, but definitely like he was slumped over and there was a bullet noise. And I hope they don't do it where like they shot just to the left of him to send him a warning or something. But
no, he deserves a hand for the performance.
Yeah.
But even Killmonger got. That's such a waste. Like, imagine putting Killmonger in jail with some villains that are just guys that are like, I love power, and then Killmonger gets in their head with his like actual complexity and ideas and makes them scarier.
Yeah, but Black Panther, T'Challa died and went over that waterfall. It's a comic book movie; they can all come back.
This is true. This is true.
There was one thing that didn't make the trailer that I wrote in my notes, which is that like when they're giving the briefing on Killmonger. Bilbo Watson, as we'll call him, Martin Freeman, was saying like he's got hundreds of confirmed kills, and it's like but he didn't confirm the one kill he should have confirmed.
He just tossed him over.
He just tossed him over the waterfall.
That was his villain hubris.
He didn't know he was in a comic book movie,
but he didn't know
any other movie that would have been enough.
Yeah.
But
who's the guy in the ice mountains?
M'Baku.
Yeah, he didn't count on M'Baku. Burying him in an inch of snow, which I guess is, if vibranium's magic, that's double magic.
Oh, tale as old as time.
Stabbed and thrown off a cliff. Just put him in the snow.
I can't tell you how many times my ass has been saved by being put in some snow. That's just science.
Grandma's old cough medicine never fails. Let's watch.
Oh, there he is. While the boys are at play, it's the women of Black Panther who do all the work. Like Okoye, literal snatcher of wigs. Shuri, expert in weaponized memes.
What are those?
Angela Bassett as herself. And Nakia, who after all the debate between T'Challa and Killmonger, was making the same case all along and never got the credit for it.
Wakanda is strong enough to help others and protect ourselves at the same time.
Also, she saved the royal family.
Let's go!
Also, she saved the future of the Black Panther. Wow, I am not used to this much agency in my Marvel love interest. Quick, have her get rescued so I know who the heroes are.
Get down!
Phew. So enjoy this movie.
Yeah,
great acting.
I must right these wrongs.
A great story, great themes, and great cultural
I
significance.
didn't realize she wasn't in Infinity War.
Almost let you forget the underdeveloped love stories.
On a mission.
Would you kill me, my love?
The
They didn't know
terrible
what they
CGI. Or the big forgettable third act brouhaha.
Shot is so bad. The midair punch.
yeah.
In other words, it's a Marvel movie.
Hey,
All right,
it's
pause.
a Marvel movie. Pause.
I'm sure some people will. Again, we're not. It exceeds the limitations of its genre, I think.
Yep.
And we're not trashing the movie. A lot of people say like, "Oh, so you're gonna ignore all the good stuff and just point out the bad stuff." Like, no, we just pointed out all the good stuff, but it has the hallmarks of the.
By and large, Marvel
the
movies
genre.
are really good with really third acts and so-so CGI.
and very underdeveloped love stories.
And it's very underdeveloped.
Very
love stories.
underdeveloped love stories.
Doesn't mean they're bad movies. It's
No, it
just
doesn't.
you put those two things on the scale. The good outweighs the bad, but that's the
There you go.
formula.
Yep.
I would love the version of Black Panther that was just an ideological debate between, an even more nuanced ideological debate between Killmonger and
Yeah,
T'Challa.
My Dinner with Killmonger.
Yes, I would love that. However, that's just that we don't live in a reality where that movie is going to get made. Hopefully down the road, but right now,
But I still
punch
think
each
that,
other on a train track.
Right. There are Marvel movies that have done it. I'm trying to think of them. I think like the finale for Civil War and other ones where just the final battle, the climactic battle, is more character motivated and like the character arcs haven't been resolved and then they start fighting, but like it's being resolved through the action.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, it's resolved.
Well,
so.
and an advantage that Civil War had too, which I was really hoping Black Panther would do, was Evans and Robert Downey Jr. were allowed to act.
Yeah.
You know, the mask was off, the Captain America cowl was off, and they actually, like you said, the conflict is being resolved through this action. And that was my one, I think, disappointment with Black Panther was I was like, Michael B. Jordan can do action on camera. We know this, and so can Chadwick Boseman. And so I was really kind of hoping for just those two guys.
Get him back in the waterfall.
Yeah, get him back in the waterfall, and so to speak, and there's enough personal stuff there that could have been a really compelling, gripping thing instead of CGI train flip fight.
But everything that wasn't that, all the interplay between them when they're not doing that, when they're while their suits are morphing, whatever, it's great. And that's the thing. It's just like we're not knocking the movie in the sense of saying that like everything is invalidated because it has these things. We're saying like this is a great movie that has these, despite this. It has these things.
Yeah.
And
I get it. At some point, Disney has to go in and be like, we really need to sell some Armored Rhino toys, so let's really get them in there. And Lego needs a Black Panther versus Killmonger train playset.
Yeah, the iPhone game. We need the AR thing where we're using the drones to shoot down the other drones.
Yeah, exactly.
The Air Force bought product placement on this.
But I mean, just the last moments where they sit and like watch the sunrise or set. I can't remember what time of day the fight was anymore.
It would be set.
Yeah, it was a sunset. Was fantastic. And while I wish the villain had lived, that was a great way to go out. It made sense for him to just be like, so you can arrest me? No, that's stupid.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up.
Starring the superhero formerly known as Prince.
Was a prince.
Oh, there's Wallace. Lupita, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Lupita. Fear the shaving head. Bilbo Watson. Token white guy's joke.
Pause.
Now, we did a lot of calculus on this one. Dan, I think probably rightly so, was like, if we don't say the same Tolkien white guys thing that every single other funny to semi-funny person on the internet has said, everybody else is going to comment, you could call them the Tolkien white guys. You should call them the Tolkien white guys.
Here's what happened. And it goes back to a previous Martin Freeman project that we worked on, which was we did I think it was the Civil War trailer, and we talked about Cap and Bucky and how they have a crush on each other, and haha, whatever, the internet meme, haha. And we got so many people just like, I'm so sick of every time someone talks about Captain Bucky, they talk about them being gay. Like, why does everything have to be gay? And they're like, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Because they're gay.
So then, this was my fault. The Sherlock trailer, which I think was right after that, was like the next one, and I wrongly, as I was doing the final like a look at the trailer, said let's take out the John Locke, Watson Sherlock gay joke because we just did that last week in Civil War, and it's a little played.
Yeah, you want to find something new to say about it, and
that was a huge mistake. And the entire conversation around that trailer became like, how can you not mention that they're in love with each other? So I learned a lesson there, which is like, if just because a joke is obvious doesn't mean you shouldn't make it. We just need to figure out how to make that joke in a non-obvious way.
Yeah, we figured out how to play it. I think Tolkien white guy's joke is the perfect way to throw it in there.
The Tolkien white guys thing.
We didn't come up with it.
We can't. Different places.
We can't just say it.
I can't repeat a joke that was in IMDb trivia.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
All right.
So, but we had to make a reference to it. So there you go.
Let's take her home.
The best Disney princess. War Dog, Way of the Samurai.
Ghost
Buster
Dog, great movie.
Bluth got out. I bless the trains down in Africa. And the Arsenio Hall Show.
That was a John line. Improv was great.
Oh.
The Aristocat. His heart's in the right place, but maybe don't let Everett Ross keep any guys with one arm in custody. Guy's over 2.
It's a weird streak to be working on, but there it is.
Yeah, 2 guys with one arm
Excited
and
for the next
0 captured.
You have any deleted scenes? Anything we didn't put in?
Do we?
Let's see.
Wakanda is strong enough to help others and protect ourselves at the same time.
Yeah, I think she can do better than a little cat prince. She should get herself a big dog. Starring Black Cat, Panthro, Grumpy Cat, Nermal, Simba.
We're just naming cats.
Mr. Pistopheles, Prince Eric, Whack Panther, Cat Stevens, She's Your Queen to Be, Jane Bond, Mission Impossible, Johnny English, Agent Coulson 2.0, Black Widow, Baby Genius, Q, Mbarku. Who Let the Dogs Out?
We didn't quite know where to put the barking.
DMX and the Rough Riders. What? Talk to the Hand.
Wow.
Declawed.
Was that John? Yeah.
Wow.
Undercover Brother. Since he's T'Chaka's brother and he's like undercover. Black Panther, actual
cut
Civil
that?
War. Yeah. Watch the throne.
You got a mixtape coming out?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Actually, there is one. Yeah, I'll send you the SoundCloud link if you like.
I would totally buy that.
Couldn't get a real
between this movie and
mock-up
Age of Ultron, South Korea is probably hoping no more superheroes visit their country.
Yeah, South Korea.
They've gotten the worst of it.
They've gotten the worst of it
for a while
very
now.
Good. All on the roads too, tearing up the roads and
South
bridges.
Korean highways and byways are under
Infrastructure
constant
is under
siege.
constant attack from vibranium-laden
they need
superheroes and
Captain
villains.
Korea to defend the
Yes.
roads.
Yeah, I was gonna say, will they get a Korean superhero sort of in to counterbalance this? Probably not, but
But that'd be a good villain. Like, from my point of view, the Avengers are
yeah,
evil.
actually, that needs to happen. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. And then they eventually get on the same page and punch an alien.
Perfect.
Call me Kev.
I think the important thing we learned from this is that Nermal is a male cat.
You guys thought Nermal was a girl. Just double checking how to
think
spell
so
Nermal.
because Jim Davis drew Nermal with big lashes, but that's only to indicate Nermal's relative youth.
Voiced by a lady.
Also voiced by a lady.
Thought Nermal, and then I looked it up to double check the spelling because I was gonna call Shuri Nermal. Found out Nermal's a boy.
Nermal's a boy.
Yeah.
A
As
boy
you can
cat.
tell, we at some point were so desperate for starrings that we just started
Looking up
names
cats.
of other cats and just putting them on random characters.
Oh,
from
there's
the
a bunch we didn't even record. I think I called the honor
Panthro.
guard SWAT cats.
Panthro, Normal, Simba.
I do like Mr. Pistopheles.
Mr.
It's
Pistopheles
a
is
reference to the
good.
musical Cats.
Thank you.
And yeah, it's these kind of insights that you watch this show down to the bitter end for.
We got to save something for Black Panther 2.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hold that
absolutely.
back.
Yeah.
Guys, anything else? Any more cat puns? Any final thoughts?
I thought this one was pretty perfect.
It's a good movie that we're having a little bit of fun with, and I hope people will have fun with it with us because
Should we have called him
movie.
Declawed? We should have called him Declawed.
We called Claw D-Clawed.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay,
well, I
that
mean,
got in there.
in one of the things, but I thought this movie was the cat's meow
Hey.
and/or pajamas. What do you think? Did you like the movie? Do you like this video? Did you like that other video where we're talking about in this video? I don't care, but you can comment about it in the comments below. Next week we'll be back with it's kind of like a 3-for-1 special.
Right now, 3-for-1
Yeah.
special.
Oh, that one.
We'll see if it turns out that way
as
by
seen
the
on
end.
TV.
But, as seen on TV. So Christmas might be coming early, guys, and you'll know what we're talking about next week here on Honest Trailer Commentaries. Bye-bye.